Shall I
Yes,
start?
Mithul ji. Yes, Mithul.
Good afternoon, all present here. I extend a warm welcome to each of you. Today's insightful webinar on a very pertinent topic, the peer review process and HUF creation and taxation. Friends, you might be aware that our institute is quite proactive for the quality work delivered by our members. And for that, they tighten their hands and expand the scope of peer review process. As we navigate the complexity of today's financial and legal landscape, understanding the peer review mechanism and the intentions establishing a Hindu HUF and its taxation implications, we are honored to have with us a distinguished expert, CA Purushottam Khandelwal and CA Chandrasekhar Chitlesar with us, who will sharing their knowledge and experience with us. Welcome, sir. Their insights will shed a light on the peer review process, a cornerstone in maintaining the quality and integrity of professional work, as well as many aspects of HUF and taxes implications. Before move further, let me introduce the Vice Chairman of CPE Committee, CA Gyanchand Misra. CA Gyanchand Misra is a Vice Chairman of CPE Committee and Chairman of Committee on Insolvency and Bankruptcy of ICAI. Presently, he is serving the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as a Central Council member. He has more than 24 years of professional experience as a chartered accountant. Under his vision, this year, a CP committee taking a new initiative for the members. I request CA Gyanchand Mishra to share a welcome address for today's webinar.
Sir,
सर
you are
आवाज
on
नहीं
the
आ
floor,
रही है
sir.
जी
Thank you, CA Mitul Mehta ji, very respected coordinator of this program. Two very distinguished Central Council members present. Of course, the chairman of the committee, CA Purushottam Khandelwal ji, a good friend of mine from Ahmedabad. The other one, a mentor and a great person on taxation, CA Chandrasekhar Chitle ji, secretary of the committee, Ajit Nath Tiwari ji, and all the team of the CPE committee, and most importantly, all the respected participants who have joined this webinar across the country. Good evening to one and all. Friends, indeed, it's a great pleasure and privilege to all of us to welcome you all in this today's very important webinar. Important in two respects. One being the the last webinar before the code of conduct is being applicable today night, 12 a.m. And second one, that today, as advised by Chairman Sir, Purushottam Bhai, that I'll be speaking 10-15 minutes about the profession, about the committee, and about the future of the profession. So, friends, let me start. We all know that the profession came into existence in 1949, well before the Constitution was adopted by the Parliament. So what could have been the need that the parliamentarian at that time thought it fit to have one accounting and auditing profession who could regulate the entire gamut of auditing and accounting profession. And it came in existence well before the Constitution, because probably they had in their mind that if the country has to grow, there must be one regulatory body which could control the entire auditing and accounting activity of the country. And so the existence of the profession came into the picture. Very handful of the people, about 1,600 chartered accountants, were awarded the degree of chartered accountants, and they started the profession with very limited resources. Now, very close to 4,20,000 chartered accountants and close to 10 lakhs students, the profession becomes the largest accounting body of the world. Not only accounting, but of course, accounting in itself implies the auditing, finance, investment, and so many other functions that been taken care by the professionals at large. Friends, it is onus on us as a professional that we have to discharge our duties not only as a professional, but true caretaker of the various financial resources of the country. We are expecting that by 2047, the country will become the developed country because as of now, we are the fifth largest economy of the world. The country is growing in the pace of 7 to 8% of growth rate. Only two countries across the world are growing on more than 5% of growth rate. Indonesia and India, both starting with India. These are the two countries. And I'm sure about it that the leadership we have in the country and the dedication of the population size that we have and the infrastructure that we are looking into in coming time, certainly the India will become one of the developed country of the world. Well said by Sri Om Birla ji in one of the event of the institute last year that India will certainly become a developed country by 2047. But the role of the chartered accountants will be the maximum one in development of the country. So we should not undermine our role. We should not undermine the value of our signature. We have to understand that if we are going to become 4 trillion or 5 trillion economy, certainly we are the only person who have been given the right to certify the financial statements, to give any certificate, to verify any account statement. So we have to understand that when the government has reposed, this must trust on the profession. It's on us now that we have to reciprocate to the all stakeholders. I will not say only government, the entire public. If you sign the financial statements, what is the EPS? That the investors read the EPS from the financial statement. And on the basis of your signature, they understand and they believe that whatever EPS, whatever the financial statements are depicting, that is true and correct. That is true and fair. Then they invest in the various shares of the stock market in the companies which are listed over there. So what I mean to say that we have to value our signature. Well said by Honorable Prime Minister in 2017 while launching the GST, that the signature of the chartered accountants are more powerful than the signature of the Prime Minister of the country. So the first thing that I would like to request all of you and all of us, rather I will say, that we must value our signature. Whatever we are doing, that must reflect our competence, our skill set, and the trust which our forefathers have built in last 75 years. The second thing, friends, that I would like to tell you, nowadays, the professional opportunities are shaping in various dimensions. There are a lot of professional opportunities which we enjoyed in last 75 years. But dimensions of the profession are changing very fast. Artificial intelligence is one area where we have to ponder upon in coming time. If we understand the professional opportunities are knocking our door, the tremendous impact of the artificial intelligence can't be ruled out. We have to understand that the profession is now based on the technology. And if we are not technical enough to understand the intricacies of the technology which are affecting the profession, then probably we are not able to foresee the future where we are heading to. My request to all one would be kindly do course of the artificial intelligence. Kindly do understand the technology which is impacting the profession in coming time. The institute this year has come up with separate committee. Honorable President has formed one separate committee, AI in ICAI, Artificial Intelligence in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Will request all the members who are listening me to kindly join 3 days program, which is happening in Hyderabad and Jaipur, and try to understand how the profession is being impacted by the artificial intelligence and what are the newer areas where the artificial intelligence is playing its pivotal role to make it successful. Second thing, rather I will say the third thing, aggregation of the firm. We have practiced in individual proprietorship or in small partnership firms. Now the time has come that we have to pave our path by aggregation of the firm. Again, the institute has come up with aggregation of the firms committee. The purpose is to consolidate the resources, to make the people sit at one place, to share the mind thoughts, to share the skill sets, to share the entire gamut of resources that the CA firms are having individually. Friends, I'm sure that we are one of the key stakeholders in developing country. So we have to ensure that now the small firms have the limited resources. The time ahead is not far where only the big firms will lead the profession. So we have to come out of the name of our firms. My name is GC Mishra. My firm's name is GC Mishra and Company. I am running a proprietorship firm. I am very much affectionate and loving to my proprietorship firm. But trust me, one person's practice time is gradually going to be over. We have to join hands to the bigger firms. We have to make the big firms. I'm not telling that on one day, one fine morning, we will become the big four company, big four firms of the world. But certainly, the room was not built in a day. The big journey is have to take the pledge that we will connect to our friends, our relatives, our colleagues, and of course, the professionals to make it big. And big is the future. We have to come out of the small firms. Small firms don't have the big future. I'm clear about it. So my request would be, you please farm the big firms. And the time is that when you are big, you are going to be bigger, and one day you will be the biggest one. So think about big from the small. The last thing that I would like to tell you, because I understand paucity of time also, though Secretary Sir has given me 10 to 15 minutes, but I have used about 12 minutes, so 2-3 minutes more. Friends, the role of the chartered accountants in building the India is imperative. And it's not only the profession which has given, bread and butter to the generations. It's the profession which has made us proud, and proud not only to practice as a profession, but nowadays we are seeing that a lot of the chartered accountants are going in the industry. Role of the chartered accountants in the industry is also inevitable, but at the same time, we have to ensure that the new professionals who are coming in the practice, we have to take them with us in our arms, in our heart, and we have to handhold them in such a way so that they can continue in the practice. Practice is not a small thing. Our profession is a class profession. But the issue is the person who comes in the profession, they are the mass people. मैं एक अध्यापक का बेटा हूं, मैं चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बना, सेंट्रल काउंसिल मेंबर हूं. But if I see my journey in last 25 years, how I became chartered accountant, how I established my practice, that is a long story. But now since the students, the newly qualified chartered accountants, they are getting good job opportunities, so they prefer to go in the industry. My request to each professional who is listening me would be that if you get the opportunity, to handhold one chartered accountant who wants to come in the practice, please handhold him. Because our profession is all about the profession, not the service. When the profession was conceived 75 years back, this was conceived as chartered accountancy profession, not a course which will be serving the nation as employee. So we are a profession which has given the employment, and we have to reiterate ourselves that passion of the chartered accountants to give the employment that must continue. The second thing of this paragraph would be that the nation knows that the chartered accountants have played the pivotal role in nation building. Well said by Honorable past President of the country, Abdul Kalam sir, that the chartered accountants are partner in nation building. Partner means very big thing, means big stakeholder. In development of the country, the chartered accountants have given their sweat and blood. I understand well that when even our client, they are sleeping in the midnight, we people are filing the GST return, we people are filing the income tax return, and we people are trying that the due tax, whether it is GST or income tax, that is being paid to the government of India, so that the people of the country get their part of our income. Friends, I'll not take much time. I understand that this is the last deliberation before the election this year. So I'm really thankful to each one of you for your patient listening. The first one. The second one, I am thankful to Purushottam Khandelwalji, my good friend, and of course, council colleague, who has given me free hand the whole year to work for the profession, to work for the committee. Friends, amidst us, C.H. Chandrasekhar Chitleswar is here. He is like a mentor to us in the council. जब हम कहीं अटकते हैं या भटकते हैं, साफ साफ हिंदी में, तो चितले सर का हम लोग सहारा लेते हैं कि सर हमें आप लोग गाइड करें. सो चंद्रशेखर चितले सर, आई एम रियली वेरी मच थैंकफुल टू यू that you have spared your valued time to address the members on this platform of CPE committee. I am thankful to Ajit Nath Tiwari ji and his whole team for his untiring effort the whole year for the profession, for the members, and of course, for the CPE committee at last. At last, I am thankful to all the members and delegates who have joined today's program. We will keep connected. We will keep, updated ourselves. We will keep on upskilling ourselves, and most importantly, we will keep on serving to the profession to the best of our abilities to make the country pride on our profession. Thankful to one and all for kind listening. Jai Hind, Jai ICI.
वाह वाइस चेयरमैन सर, आज अमावस है तो अमावस के अंधेरे में आपने उजाला रोशन कर दिया है. बहुत बढ़िया. और
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू.
सर भी बाद में करते रहेंगे और इलेक्शन के बाद भी आपका आवाज बुलंद रहेगा.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू चितले सर, सो नाइस ऑफ यू सर.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Friends, today with us a chairman of CP committee, CA Purushottam Khandelwal with us. CA Purushottam Khandelwal is the chairman of CP committee, convener of RBI Directorate of ICAI. He is having a 25 years of post-qualification experience in the field of audit, direct and indirect tax, and intellectual property right. This year, he is developed a fortifying CPE framework and guaranteeing the quality across its entire operation spectrum. And this year, the major focus would be on upgrading of CPE portal for the enhancement of the branding and professional competency of member. Now, I request the CA Purushottam Khandelwal to share opening remarks.
You're on mute, sir.
Good evening, respected Vice Chairman of the committee, CA Gyan Chand Mishra ji, whom with I working in same committee since last 2 years, soldier to soldier. He's such a nice guy. He's always helping to the members, very cooperative, down to earth, always available. It's my pleasure to work with him for last 2 years. Thank you, GC sir, for giving me an opportunity to serve with you. Again, my senior council colleague, मार्गदर्शक, पथ प्रदर्शक, हाजिर जवाबी, CA चितले सर, one of the senior most council member, a man of tax. जब भी कहीं ज्ञान जी ने सही बोला कि जब भी हम कहीं अटकते हैं तो हमारा मार्गदर्शक करते हैं. ऐसे हमारे कलीग CV चितले सर, जो आपको आज दूसरा सेशन लेने वाले हैं, चेयरमैन ऑफ द राजकोट ब्रांच, गुजरात की मोस्ट वाइब्रेंट ब्रांच, जिन्होंने इस साल बहुत ही काम किया. ऐसे हमारे चेयरमैन मितुल मेहता जी. वैसे तो राजकोट में ये सोने का समय है. आपको जान के आश्चर्य होगा कि इंडिया की ऐसी ब्रांच भी है जहां सब लोग आराम करते हैं. 2 से 4 मतलब जीना इनसे सीखे कि काम भी करें और अपना जीवन भी जिए. ऐसे रोल मॉडल मितुल मेहता जी. सेक्रेटरी ऑफ द CP कमेटी अजीत नाथ जी तिवारी, who is always available all the practicing unit, those who are organizing a seminar, webinar. We are working with him since last 2 years. He's done a lot of efforts to improve the portals, CP spectrums, and the entire team of CP committee. And respected members, those who are watching this program live. Friends, the profession has been changed. In the international, you are watching 2 countries are fighting, Russia and Ukraine. Yesterday, there was a statement that Ukraine attack on the Russia and Putin was in the bunker. What a time has been changed. Previously, all the Raja, Maharaja, they were building their all empire on the top of the hill. पहाड़ की सबसे ऊंची चोटी पे राजा महाराजा अपना महल बनाते थे कि अगर किसी से आक्रमण होता है तो लोग नीचे से ऊपर कैसे आएंगे, हम ऊपर टॉप पोजीशन बना के बैठेंगे. क्या भी पॉसिबल है कि किसी की हिल पे बैठ के कोई राजा महाराजा या देश का प्रधानमंत्री या राष्ट्रपति महल पहाड़ पे बनाए? क्योंकि सबसे पहले मिसाइल अटैक उधर ही होगा. अभी उनको बंकर की तलाश है. ये चेंज है. सेम फॉर द प्रोफेशनल. वी आर कंपीटिंग विद द टेक्नोलॉजी. देयर आर वेरियस इंफॉर्मेशन which is available on the internet. AI has taken the program decision work in such an era. My professional brother is working. Currently, we are 4,14,000 members, out of which 1,60,299 are only in practice. This is not much in number as compared to the population of India. Out of 1,60,000, many members having a COP, but they are actually not in practice. Either they are husband, wife, father, son, father, mother, mother, daughter. So roughly active practitioner is only 1 lakh professional brothers. And out of 1 lakh professional brother, still majority are in the proprietorship firm. How they can survive? You have passed such a toughest examination of the world, and you are not getting whatever you expected when you joined the CA course. My humble request all the viewer, please join the hand together. Use the technology. Expand the horizon. मैं हमेशा से कहता आया हूं कि जब कैट की साइज बड़ी होगी तो शेयर भी बड़ा आएगा. Now, in the era of faceless assessment, there is no recognition of face, but recognize your writing power, how you communicate with the departments. Only knowledge is the power. So you have to empower with the knowledge. This year, the president has made one committee for aggregation of firms. Just Ganji said to held holding of members. Together we can grow. We can invest in the infrastructure. We can invest in the technology. So comes together and make our dreams come true. We are having 5 regional council, 2 center of excellence. Both the center of excellence running a wonderful course, but members are not aware. This year, my committee is coming with one dashboard, which lists the program of all 176 branches of the country, 5 regional council, 2 center of excellence. Member can attend their program of their own choice, because some branch is organizing program of income tax, other may be on the indirect tax, company law, corporate law, investment. There are various topics, but currently you cannot attend this program because you don't have any information. So we are coming with one dashboard. We will list all the programs at one single window, and you can pay from the single window only. You go and register the programs and attend the program at your choice in any corner of the country. This year we are also coming with the system of how to mark attendance. I'm not saying about the biometrics. We have a full faith on my members. But the sake of convenience, sake of technology, we will send link to the registered participant and we will display code in the auditorium. So whenever you put the code in the link sent by the ICI, you will get the real-time CP. As you are aware, now there is no rolling period of CP. You have to complete your CP in one calendar year only. So my committee is sending mail to every member on the end of the month that how much CP is pending, how much you have completed. That will be helpful to you. Last year, I was also vice chairman of CMP, Committee for Member in Practice, which is a very, very important committee, because the majority of the members are involved in the institute activities are from the practicing field. They are coming and attending the seminar, conferences, and they are real sense the true brand ambassador of the ICI, because their performance is the performance of ICI. How to improve the performance of the members, how we can them equip. We have decided to give them office practice management software. The software worth of rupees 20,000 has been given free of cost to all members to utilize their resources, maximize their revenue, provide the best services to the client, how to utilize the employees they have, client management, billing management, evaluation systems. So this has been given by the ICI. I always say that we have a proud that we have passed India's toughest examination. This is the only examination system in India where there is no caste, no creed, no rich, no poor. Only performance is the criteria. सिर्फ योग्यता ही उनका मापदंड है. और अगर किसी के पास पैसे नहीं है और सीए का कोर्स करना चाहते हैं, that we also provide them fund also. We have set up a fund of rupees 100 crore for those needy students who want to pursue a CA course, but due to the lack of resources, they cannot do the course. ICI will help them. So in true sense, we say that the Constitution of India provides an equal opportunity to all. But I am proud that I am a member of ICI and my institute is providing opportunity to all the members and students at large. Any members can come up with the branch, study circle, chapter, regional council, and you can also contest a central council election and you become a part of the management team of ICI. So this is the true sense ICI is providing an equal opportunity. As a vice chairman of CMP committee, we have started given orientation to newly qualified chartered accountant who adopted to do the practice. They have taken COP and started their practice. What to do, how to do, that has been provided in the orientation programs. How to apply MEF forms, C&AG form, how to make a representation letter, management presentation letter, how to draft audit report, how to communicate with the client, how to charge fee. That all has been taught in this orientation program. So this is the new feature, because previously there was an orientation program for the newly qualified members who wants to go in the industries. I'm always say that ICI is a mother institute. Why I'm saying ICI is a mother institute? Mother is not giving birth to child, but taking care entire life. ICI giving orientation program to the student who want to pursue a CA course, make them understand. Today I got an opportunity to address a 3,000 students who are interested in the CA course. We discuss with them, we apprise about the course. That is the first phase. After passing a foundation course or a graduation, we give them training for the technology, orientation about the course, give them practical training as articleship, provide them material. Now AI also, CA GPT, make them competent. And after passing a CA examination, ICI conduct a campus placement for them. This year, ICI is organizing a 60th campus placement for the newly qualified chartered accountants. So हमेशा कहते हैं कि जब तक इंस्टीट्यूट में जो मेंबर आया है वो अपनी जीवन में सेटल नहीं हो जाता, इधर जॉब में या प्रैक्टिस में, जब तक इंस्टीट्यूट उसको सपोर्ट देता है. So you all have to be proud of that noble profession. The YH Maligam always say that what is the success of this noble profession? Whether the number we enjoy, whether we power we enjoy, but the success of this noble profession is to recognize by the society at large. This year and last 2 years, the President of India, Mahamahim Draupadi Murmu ji, came to the institute and launched a new curriculum. Vice President of Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankar ji, they also comes to the institute in the GLOPAC at Gujarat, Gandhinagar. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji cut at Bhubaneswar. Yesterday, the Governor of Reserve Bank of India, Sasikant Das, was the chief guest at Bhubaneswar. So we are working with Government of India, soldiers to soldier. What we are doing? We are reading all the law of India and make competition to the clients that if you want to do a business in India, you have to comply with this law. Major of the revenue of the Government of India comes through the chartered accountants, either in the practicing CA or either in the COE, CFO or CEO. Both are working for the industries. So I'm proud to be a part of this noble profession. Today's topic which is given to me is overview of the peer review process. What is a peer review? बहुत लोगों को गलत फहमी है, पीयर रिव्यूअर आएगा, मैंने जो ऑडिट रिपोर्ट ड्राफ्ट की है या जो जजमेंट लिया है उस पर क्वेश्चन करेगा, शायद उस जजमेंट को बदल दे, रीडू कर दे. दिस इज नॉट अ पीयर रिव्यू प्रोसेस. Peer review process is strengthen the practicing unit. Just evaluate the procedures laid down by the firm, how you come to the conclusion. Nurture to practicing unit, how to strengthen the practicing unit. If there is some lacking, the reviewer will guide them practicing unit. So the peer review process of the institute is focused on the evaluating the quality service provided by the practicing unit, particularly with regards to compliance with a relevant technical, professional and ethical standard, as well as the procedure adopted by the firm. The objective of peer review is to ensure that in carrying out their professional assignment, the member of ICI comply with the technical standard laid by ICAI. The scope. The peer review process does not seek to question on the professional judgment. कोई भी आपने जो जजमेंट लिया है, आपने जो रिपोर्ट ड्राफ्ट किया, उसके जजमेंट पे कोई क्वेश्चन करने वाला नहीं है. Rather, it seek to ensure that the system and procedure followed by the review ensure the compliance. How to keep a proper record. How to save a documentation. How to create a proper documentation. As you know, the NAPRA is a hyperactive. The procedure and documentation, whatever we follow in our firm, will save you. If anything goes wrong, how we can explain to the regulator? As you know that we are also regulator, just like a Reserve Bank of India, SEBI, ICI is a regulator. But when another regulator comes through the one section of the Companies Act, asking various questions about the decision taken by the practicing unit. The peer review is not expected to redo the work performed by the audit firm, nor express an opinion on the financial statement audited by them. जो ऑडिट आपने कर दिया उसमें कोई क्वेश्चन करने वाला नहीं है, लेकिन फ्यूचर में आपका सिस्टम कैसे ठीक करे उसके ऊपर ये पूरा किया हुआ है. मैं रिक्वेस्ट टेक्निकल टीम इफ दे कैन शेयर दी पीपीटी. अजीत जी,
Yes, sir.
कैन यू
We are
शेयर दी
making
पीपीटी?
Yes, sir.
So the idea behind peer review is not a fault finding, but nurturing the exercise. The review begin with the assumption that a professional work professionally and end with the enhancement of the attribute to the professional. शुरुआत करें और जब आप पीर रिव्यू करके निकले तब उस फर्म को कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन देके जाएं कि आपकी फर्म को किस तरह से स्ट्रेंथन किया जा सकता है. What is a peer review? The peer review means examination and review of the system and procedure, not question on the judgment taken by the firm, not changes your opinion, but what is the procedure in your office, how you train your article, what kind of document you are keeping, what kind of filing system in your office. So they determine whether the same has been put in place by the practice unit to ensuring the assurance service as well, so that the peer review will come and take only the assurance service where you are signing, not all the income tax return if you have filed, not your GST return files, not your advisory service you are given, only attestation work जहां पे आपको सीए की डिग्री का महत्व है, जहां आप साइन कर रहे हैं, वो साइन किए उसके लिए आपने जजमेंट कैसे लिया, उसके लिए ये पीर रिव्यू सिस्टम फॉलो करने का है. द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द पीर रिव्यू, अजीत भाई चलेगा, कोई बात नहीं, डोंट वरी. दी
One second, just we are sharing also. Mean.
The object of peer review, the peer review aims to ensure that the assurance service rendered by members, yes. Next. Object of peer review, yes, object of. The peer review aims to ensure the assurance service rendered by members comply with technical, professional and ethical standard as applicable in the regulatory requirement and place a proper system including documentation thereof. मैं आपको एक उदाहरण दूंगा, या तो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हम रखते नहीं है फॉर्म्स मैं सबकी नहीं बात करा, लेकिन जब मीडियम में स्मॉल फॉर्म है या तो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन रखते नहीं है, और रखे तो ऐसी डॉक्यूमेंट रखते हैं जो खुद ही हमारे एविडेंस क्रिएट करते हैं. समटाइम्स we call data on tally, we change at our office and thereafter resend to the client. The profit, suppose जब क्लाइंट ने डेटा भेजा था 1 crore था, और आफ्टर फाइनल अकाउंट द प्रॉफिट विल रिड्यूस टू 20 lakhs. So where the 80 lakhs goes? I may request to member, please not pass a single entry in the account. It's not our duty. Our duty is to give a report on the account submitted by client. So we will keep both the trial balance in our file. The first trial balance or profit and loss account we shows 1 crore rupees, and thereafter the final trial we shows 20 lakhs rupees. So we are creating a footprints for the regulator. That's what we are doing. So that is a very, very important how to keep a document. कभी कभी एक्स्ट्रा हेल्प करना भी अपने लिए भारी पड़ता है. So please don't do the extra help. Next. So SEBI has first recognized peer review process in 1st April 2010. SEBI has given mandate to those auditor who are auditor of the listed company. They can only appointed in the listed company if they are having a valid peer review certificate. So all the listed company कि अगर ऑडिटर आप है तो आपके लिए कंपलसरी पीर रिव्यू सर्टिफिकेट होना चाहिए. अगर आपके पास पीर रिव्यू सर्टिफिकेट नहीं है, एक्सपायर हो गया है, तो आप साइन नहीं कर सकते. कई लोगों को ये कंफ्यूजन है कि मेरा सर्टिफिकेट एक्सपायर हो गया और मैंने अप्लाई कर दिया है तो मैं साइन कर सकता हूं. आप नहीं साइन कर सकते. आपके पास में वैलिड डेट का सर्टिफिकेट होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज यू विल बी इन द ट्रबल. सो यू मस्ट हैव ए valid peer review certificate. Next. अजीत जी नेक्स्ट.
Yes, sir.
Next. Who another regulator who recognize the peer review process is C&AG. C&AG is giving a additional 25 maximum 25 points to those firm who are a peer review firms. मतलब उनको ऐसा है कि बड़ी कंपनी क्या गवर्नमेंट की ऑडिट करते हैं और वो फर्म पीयर रिव्यू है, इसका मतलब कि फर्म के पास में टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसी है, सिस्टम है, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन सिस्टम है, निर्णय लेने की क्षमता है, इसलिए 25 एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट्स लास्ट ईयर से देना चालू किया. तो आप पीयर रिव्यू नहीं भी है और आपको अगर लीगली रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं भी है तो आप इसके लिए भी पीयर रिव्यू करा सकते हो. नेक्स्ट. In exercise of power confirmed by section 15(2)(f), what is the consequences effect? अगर आप पीयर रिव्यू एलिजिबल आपको करवाना है और फिर भी नहीं करवाते तो इंस्टीट्यूट क्या कर सकती है? जो नया एक्ट चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट का आया सेक्शन 50 सब सेक्शन 2(f)(a) में गाइडलाइंस इशू की है और उस गाइडलाइंस का वॉल्यूशन करने पर आपके खिलाफ ऐसे एक्शन ले सकता है. The guidelines contain the complete code relating to peer review process, including terms of reference of such review, role and responsibility, all the parties council, role and function of the board. The council will also introduce AQMM review alongside with the peer review for the statutory auditor of listed company, bank and their insurance company. Next. So first phase, what was the first phase? The statutory audit of the enterprise whose equity are and debt are listed in the stock change, they have to peer review auditor compulsory है. Next. सेकेंड फेज में दो पार्ट है. पार्ट 1 में वो अनलिस्टेड कंपनी जिनका टर्नओवर 1000 करोड़ रुपए हो, पेड अप कैपिटल नॉट लेस देन 500 करोड़ रुपीज और हैविंग एनुअल टर्नओवर नॉट लेस देन 1000 करोड़ रुपीज और एग्रीगेट आउटस्टैंडिंग लोन डिबेंचर एंड डिपॉजिट नॉट लेस देन 500 करोड़. तो उन लोगों के लिए या 5 या उससे ज्यादा पार्टनर है उनको पीयर रिव्यू कंपलसरी. कई लोगों का ऐसा है कि हम 5 या उससे ज्यादा पार्टनर तो है लेकिन बड़ी कंपनी का ऑडिट नहीं करते, तो क्या हमको पीयर रिव्यू कराना पड़ेगा? यस, आपको कराना पड़ेगा. एक भी साइन करते हो, चाहे प्रॉपर्टीशिप का टैक्स ऑडिट साइन करो या लिस्टेड कंपनी का करो या ना करो, लेकिन अगर आप 5 या उससे ज्यादा पार्टनर है तो आपको पीयर रिव्यू सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए. नेक्स्ट. नेक्स्ट पेज में 1 जनवरी 2025 से उन कंपनी के लिए जो ऐसे ऑडिट करे जिन्हें 50 करोड़ से ज्यादा का लोन लिया हुआ है. द प्रैक्टिसिंग यूनिट विच प्रपोज टू अंडरटेक द स्टैट्यूटरी audit of entities which have raised fund from public or a bank or a financial institution over 50 crore rupees during the period under review, or a body corporate including trust which are covered under the public interest entity for which the practicing unit there is a prerequisite of having a peer certificate or 4 or a more partner. क्या है? उससे ज्यादा पार्टनर है या 50 करोड़ से ऊपर से ज्यादा फंड रेज किया हुआ पब्लिक से या लोन लिया हुआ बैंकों से, तो उनको रिव्यू कराना कंपलसरी है. नेक्स्ट. और 1 अप्रैल 2025 से उन सभी कंपनी के लिए जो किसी के बैंक ब्रांच के स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर है, उन सभी फर्म्स को जो बैंक ब्रांच के स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर है या 3 या उससे ज्यादा पार्टनर है, तो उनको पीयर रिव्यू करना जरूरी है. 5, 4 और 3. अब नेक्स्ट. तो ये कब कब सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू किया है? सो आईएएस सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू किया इन 2024. 1648 सर्टिफिकेट हमने इश्यू किए हैं. जब 2004 में चालू किया था तो 22 सर्टिफिकेट थे और अभी बढ़ के 1600 हुआ है. ज्यादा से ज्यादा फर्म कर रही है और मेरा ये मानना है कि आपको पीयर रिव्यू कराना चाहिए. अब आगे कौन बन सकता है पीयर रिव्यू, कैसे करवाना, वो भी मैं बताने वाला हूँ. नेक्स्ट. हु बिकम ए पीयर रिव्यू, कौन बन सकता है? नेक्स्ट. अजीत जी नेक्स्ट.
Yes, sir.
नेक्स्ट. A member shall not एलिजिबल, उससे पहले एक स्लाइड है. द मेंबर इन प्रैक्टिस, ऐसा प्रैक्टिसिंग मेंबर जो 7 साल से प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है या पहले इंडस्ट्रीज में था और अभी प्रैक्टिस ज्वाइन किया है। 10 साल इंडस्ट्रीज का एक्सपीरियंस और 3 साल का प्रैक्टिस का अनुभव। और ही इज एन होल टाइम सीओपी होल्डर, जिसके पास फुल टाइम सीओपी है, 7 साल का सीओपी, 10 साल की इंडस्ट्री प्लस 3 साल का अगर सीओपी है, वो बन सकता है, सब्जेक्ट टू उसको 1 दिन का ट्रेनिंग पीरियड अटेंड करना जरूरी है। कोई भी पीरियड बनने के लिए 1 दिन का 1 डे ट्रेनिंग पीरियड वो पीर रिव्यू बोर्ड ऑर्गेनाइज करता है, उसको अटेंड करे और क्लियर दी ऑनलाइन टेस्ट कंक्लूडेड बाय बोर्ड, वो सब पीर रिव्यू बन सकते हैं। 7 साल का प्रैक्टिस, 10 साल की इंडस्ट्री या 3 साल का प्रैक्टिस और एक एग्जाम पास किया वो। अभी नेक्स्ट कौन नहीं बन सकता? कोई भी इनएलिजिबल मेंबर जिसपे डिसिप्लिनरी कमेटी का एक्शन लिया हुआ है वो नहीं बनता है। नेक्स्ट, eligible to become a peer reviewer. A peer reviewer shall not accept any professional assignment from the practice unit for 2 years. आपने जिसका पीर रिव्यू किया है उससे 2 साल में कोई काम नहीं ले सकते, या उससे पहले के 2 साल में भी काम नहीं लिया हुआ, ताकि आप इंडिपेंडेंट रह के उसका पीर रिव्यू कर सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट, दिस इज द फी। लास्ट 3 ईयर का एवरेज है वो उन सिर्फ अटेस्टेशन फंक्शन, ऑडिट और सर्टिफिकेशन की फी है, उसका एवरेज है। उसके ऊपर अगर आपका 10 लाख या उससे ऊपर का एवरेज रिसीट है फर्म का 3 साल में, तो 15,000 फी है। एक टेबल आपको दिया हुआ, मैं शेयर करूंगा। अजीत जी ये पीपीटी सबको शेयर कर देना। तो दिस इज दी मेन फीस एंड मैक्सिमम फीस इज इन 5 लाख रुपीज, जिसकी 30 करोड़ है, उससे ज्यादा रिसीट है। तो ये तो ठीक है, आप अगर रिव्यूअर है तो ये कमा सकते हैं। अगर रिव्यूअर नहीं भी है और आपने पी रिव्यू का एग्जाम पास किया, तो कम से कम अपने खुद का फर्म को तो ठीक कर ही सकते हैं फ्यूचर के लिए। तो जरूर आप ये रिव्यू करें। So this is the major process of the peer review. I will not take much of time because the Chitresh sir is here. I request moderator of this program, Mitul Mehta ji, to take further. Thank you so much.
If any questions is there, then members can ask.
कोई क्वेश्चन है? मितुल जी, चित्रेश सर का चालू कर दो। यू कैन आस्क क्वेश्चन एनी टाइम टू मी। मितुल जी,
Yes, sir.
चित्रेश
Thank you,
का
sir,
चालू कर
for
दीजिए।
sharing. Yes, sir.
प्लीज।
We move forward. Thank you, sir, for sharing a valuable and insightful knowledge on a peer review process. On behalf of the CP committee and all present here, propose the heartily vote of thanks. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सो मच।
Moving to our next session. Friends, today with us, another distinguished speaker, CA CV Chitle with us. Welcome, sir. Let me introduce them.
Thank you.
Sir is the chairman of Committee on Commercial Laws, Economic Advisory and NPO Cooperative. He is specialized in drafting and convening direct tax and corporate counseling and has authors user guide, tax audit, VDIS and service tax for professionals. Former lecturer at the colleges and management institutions and has delivered several lectures at seminars and conferences. With this brief introduction, we once again welcome sir to today's webinar and request sir to proceed for the HUF creation and taxation. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. In former session, I have witnessed that this CP committee family is already there, led by Purushottam Khandelwal ji. We have Vice Chairman Gyan Mishra ji. We have from Rajkot Mitul Mehta ji. And today I had the fortune of being part of this particular family. And this family is spearheaded by Ajit Nath Mehta, now who is about to make world record and entering Guinness Book of dispensing highest CP hours, maybe 4 lakh chartered accountants, 20 hours. So maybe he would be dispensing 8 crore hours in this 2025. And I think if chairman desires, this committee and Ajit Nath can enter into Guinness Book of World Record.
Thank you so much.
So, and with this now, let us have a discussion on this particular uh, creation and taxation of HUF. Let me share the PPT. So this PPT is elaborate. It contains various aspects relating to HUF and other matters. And considering the time, I may skip certain slides. This PPT will be shared to you by this CP committee chairman Khandelwalji and Gyan Mishraji. So if anything is missed out, maybe you can refer from those slides. And if anything further is there, maybe we can interact offline. So with this background, what I would be discussing is under 6 captions. One is first, why HUF? Then what is HUF? How it is created? How the assets and income is accessed by the HUF? The possibility of partition and the process of partition, and certain typical issues. So under these 6 captions, broadly, we will discuss topic which has been slated for discussion on this afternoon. So friends, briefly, as you are aware that there is, say, Mr. A and Mrs. A, both are earning, they have their children. In this case, if income of both Mr. A and Mrs. A exceeds, say, 15 lakh rupees, in that case, both of them would be exposed at a tax for a tax at the rate of maximum marginal rate of 30%. Now, if they want to reduce the taxation, then certainly their income has to be parked validly in some other heads. But then, if such hands and heads are beyond the family, to control that income, those assets would be difficult. So we have to search for some head which is within the family, and that is HUF. So once when you park certain income validly under the head of HUF, maybe your tax liability gets reduced. Uh, your other benefits are there. Since there was discussion about peer review and other things, to my mind, even a HUF of chartered accountants can enter into partnership for the purpose of business, provided the chartered accountant who is karta is not actively engaged in the business or he is not partner. In that case, if the uh, capital is supplied by the HUF, to my mind, HUF can also become partner in any enterprise via, say, wife or children who are not chartered accountants, and thereby maybe chartered accountants family can earn. And we will make useful reference subsequently to the case law by Supreme Court, which has stated that HUF is not a person under general law, but only for the purpose of income tax, the HUF exists. So other things are there in the PPT. There are certain disadvantages of HUF as well. So while we are advising clients to constitute a HUF, we must note a sound of caution that there are certain limitations. Maybe all members will get automatically equal right, whatever be your contribution. By birth or marriages, rights get impaired because some new member joins. By death, some members exit. So again, there is oscillation in the shares of each member. In case of partition also, when there are disputes, at times it becomes a matter of great enmity between the members. But then maybe if you sound those note of cautions, everything has positives and negatives. You pick up positives, maybe you create some insurance or some curtain for the purpose of negatives, and then you can successfully employ the tool, which is true of any tool. So let us think of HUF. Now, rather than going theoretically, which is the theory is appearing on these slides, but let us discuss them in practical manner. Now we started with Mr. A and Mrs. A and their children. So what is Hindu undivided family? Hindu undivided family consists of husband and wife and their children, and it goes down to 4 generations. So for the purpose of our discussion, let us assume that there is Mr. A and Mrs. A, and this particular HUF starts with Mr. A, who is the karta. So Mr. A and Mrs. A and their children, their grandchildren and their grandchildren, so 4 generations, there would be an HUF. Then sons and daughters of great grandchildren will not be members of a HUF. Let us assume that A has got 2 sons, B and C, and one daughter, T. In that case, What is the HUF? HUF is those 5 persons, Mr. A, Mrs. A, elder son B, younger son C, and daughter D. So these 5 persons will constitute the HUF. After passage of time, supposing A becomes major and he gets married and he begots a son, so wife of A as well as son and daughters of A and of B and Mrs. B, who is the son of A, also become part of AHUF. Now, B's son, he on attaining majority gets married. His wife also becomes the part of AHUF, and when he begets son, his son is the fourth generation from A, so his son is also member of the HUF. So this way the four generations come. Now, if A's great grandson has got a subsequent, say, son, daughter, they are not member of AHUF. But if you consider B, who is son of A, so they are member of BHUF, but not of HUF because HUF runs till 4 generations. Now, under Article 14, who can be members of HUF? Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists, they can be HUF predominantly. Parsis, Christians, and Muslims are not having HUF, but all other Hindus can have HUF. Now, on succession, whether there will be HUF or not, that we will discuss. Who is Karta? So in HUF, there are three concepts we have to understand. One is Karta. Secondly, co-parsoner. And thirdly, member. So first, let us consider who is Karta. Now, in our example, the HUF started with Mr. A. So Mr. A is Karta of this Mr. A HUF. Now, members, so Mrs. A, B, C, D, their son, their grandson, their children of B and C, they are all members of the HUF. Amongst members, there are two classes. One is co-parsoner member and one is ordinary member. So, if you consider Hindu law, who is the co-parsoner? Co-parsoners are all male members of the HUF. So, male member, the son of Mr. A, great grandson, grandson of Mr. A, great grandson of Mr. A, all these are male members. So, they are co-parsoners of the HUF. Now, this son, great grandson, grandson, everybody either may be naturally born to the in the family or they may be adopted. Both are in the same class. If they are adopted, still they are son or grandson. If they are born in a family, they are obviously son and grandson, and they continue to be members of the HUF. So and co-parsoners. So all ladies members, that is daughter, wife of everybody, are not co-parsoners. They are the members of the HUF. What is the difference between co-parsoners and members? As far as members are concerned, they have right and proprietary interest in the property of the HUF and they can demand partition. As far as members are concerned, members have only right for the purpose of maintenance and not right in assets. They cannot demand any partition of the HUF. So, as far as Hindu law is concerned, after demise of Mr. A, whether Mr. A HUF will die, the answer is no. Whosoever is the elder member of that particular HUF, so in case of A, the elder son is B, so he will become Karta of the AHUF, and then the family will be run, managed by Mr. B, who is the eldest son of A. But for some reason, supposing A is not interested in becoming this Karta, say he is employed in USA, so he is not able to maintain or manage affairs which is in India. So he may say that, okay, not me, somebody else can become Karta. And in that case, C, who is the younger son, also can become a Karta. So this is one deviation from the customary Hindu law. So as far as HUF is concerned, HUF is not product of law. It is product of custom. But then this custom was altered successively by either court judgments or by certain modifications made by law. So earlier we discussed about the customary HUF, that it is a male-dominated entity and it starts from common ancestors and runs till 4 generations thereafter. All male members are co-partners, all female members are members. As far as Karta is concerned, the senior most member can become a Karta. This is Hindu custom. So after demise of A, his elder son will become Karta. But court has stated that if the senior most member is not willing or not able to be a Karta, then even junior member can be a Karta. So this is alteration to our understanding of Hindu law. Again, as I said that maybe female member cannot become a karta. So there is a decision of Supreme Court and other courts that in given circumstances, even female members of HUF can become a karta. Supposing male member are juniors, they are not adults. In that case, female members can become karta. These are also the court judgments. So this is the difference between the co-parsoner and member. So first difference we said that a junior member can be karta. Second difference, even a female member in given circumstances can act as a karta. Now, one more and very important deviation from custom. Earlier, I stated that all male members from the family are karta, are co-partners, and all female members are members. They are not co-partners, therefore they do not have right in assets. But a major change was made because of Hindu Succession Amendment Act, and there it stated that as far as daughters are concerned, the right of daughter will be equivalent to the right of a son. Now, in a co-partnery, on demise of father, or all male members, the son, the grandson, the great grandson, they are all co-partners of the family. Now, the Hindu Succession Act has given right to daughter equal to the son. Now, if son can become co-partner after Hindu Succession Act, even a daughter is now co-partner. So that difference has to be understood. So Mr. A had got B and C sons and D daughter. So as per custom, only B and C can be co-partner, but after Hindu Succession Amendment Act, even daughter D is a co-partner of AHUF. Now consider B. Supposing B has got one son and a daughter. In that case, this daughter of B will also get right equivalent to the son of B. So if son is a co-partner, daughter is also a co-partner. So now who is left out as a member? So wife of Mr. A, she is a member because she is not daughter in the family. The wife of Mr. B, who is not daughter of the family but son, wife of Mr. B. Then B's son, if his wife is there, if he gets married, his wife will get status of a member but not of a co-partner. But all daughters born or adopted in a family have got right of a co-partner, and only co-partner can ask for partition. So this Hindu Succession Act was passed from 6 September 2005, and thereafter this particular change law is applicable, that daughters in the family are considered as co-partners. Now let us come to the important topic of creation of HUF. What do we mean by creation of HUF? So first, let us try to understand that the phrase creation of HUF is misleading. You cannot create an HUF. Now you want to create a company. Maybe you can apply for name, you prepare articles memorandum, and you get certificate of incorporation. In case of a partnership firm, you enter into a partnership contract. Several persons join together and they sign a partnership deed, and thereby partnership is created. So all these entities which are learned plurally, owned plurally by more persons, are creation of a contract and volition of a persons. As opposed to that, HUF is not created by anybody. HUF is creation of a custom. HUF exists. So you cannot create. If you are born Hindu, you have an HUF. If you are born Hindu, you are member of your father's HUF. If you are born Hindu, you are member of your grandfather's HUF. If you are born Hindu, you are member of great grandfather's HUF. So once when you are take birth in a Hindu religion, you have an HUF. If you get married, you have son, daughter, you also have an HUF. So likewise, HUF is not created by law, but HUF is created by custom. And who are the members of the HUF? That is also stated by custom. And as we have noted, that it starts with a common ancestor, Mr. A and Mrs. A. So Mrs. A is wife of a Karta. She is member of the HUF. On childbirth, B, C, D, they also become member of HUF, co-persons of HUF. When B gets married, his wife becomes member. If they begot son, daughter, they become members. So membership to the HUF is automatic, not by contract. You cannot enter into a contract with a third party that, okay, you join our HUF. That is not possible. So the creation of HUF is itself misnomer. And any Hindu who is taking birth has HUF and he continues to be with HUF till death. So what do we really mean by HUF, creation of HUF is, now this HUF is used for the purpose of taxation to reduce the tax burden on a family. Therefore, in order to create HUF, it means that bringing that HUF on income tax record. So if you are able to bring that HUF on income tax record, and let us assume that Mr. A and Mrs. A have got collective income of 30 lakh rupees, or say 40 lakh rupees, each having 20 lakh rupees, their income above 15 lakh rupees is exposed to tax at 30%. Now they want to reduce their tax liability. So if whatever extra 5 lakh income they are having, if they are successfully able to place it in the coffer or in the hodgepodge of HUF, then that 10 lakh will get exposed to tax at a rate lower than 30%. Maybe first 2,50,000, 0%, thereafter whatever 5%, 10%. So in the slabs, it will be taxed, but it will not be taxed at the rate of 30%. So creation of HUF means bringing HUF to the records of income tax validly. So let us try to understand how to create HUF for the purpose of and in the eyes of income tax law. So for the purpose of bringing HUF to this income tax record, you have to have permanent account number. So you apply for permanent account number. And in that case, when you apply for permanent account number, you have to give an affidavit along with that form 49A. And in that affidavit, you have to write who are all members of the HUF, co-personers of the HUF at the time when you are applying for this form 49A application for PAN. So there, Mr. A will give this particular application. He will sign an affidavit and he will say, okay, Mr. A is Karta of HUF, Mrs. A is wife of the HUF and member of the HUF. Mr. B is son of a Karta and is co-personer of the HUF. Mrs. B is a wife, son or daughter-in-law of the Karta and she is member of the HUF. C is son of Karta, he is member, co-person of the HUF. Daughter D is daughter of the Karta and she is also a co-person of the HUF. And then he signs the affidavit, accompanies it with the application for permanent account number, and the HUF is recognized in income tax record. Now you have to put validly funds or income in the hands of HUF. So for that, what to do, we have to consider, and that we will be considering soon. In the meanwhile, let us try to understand how to have property at the hodgepodge of HUF. So that is the key, and that we will consider in subsequent HUF. But in fact, in the meanwhile, let me also explain one fact that if a person is born a Hindu, it is not necessary that he is member of only one Hindu undivided family. He can be member of several undivided families. Surprised? Try to understand. Now, continuing the example of this Mr. A and Mrs. A. So Mr. A HUF is there and they have two sons, one daughter, and those sons have got son, daughter. They also have got son, daughter. So that is the family as we have seen. Now let us take example of Mr. A. He is member of AHF. Now let us take example of B, son of A. So B is member of AHF. That's fine. But B also has got son, grandson. So in that case, there is the BHUF in existence. For BHUF, member is B, Mrs. B, son and daughter of B, wife of B's son. If B's son has got son, then grandson of B. So all these are members of BHUF. Who are not members? C is not member of BHUF, who is his brother. B daughter, that is his sister, is not member of BHUF. And similarly, A, his father, Mrs. A, his mother, are not member of BHF. So this family starts with a common ancestor, Mr. A and Mrs. A, and then subsequent 4 generations. Similarly, if you consider C, if C gets married, he has sons, there will be HUF. Now take example of D. Whether D can have HUF, there the answer is no, because D is a daughter, and under Hindu custom, HUF is a male dominated entity. So D, daughter of Mr. A, cannot have her own HUF. But when she gets married, supposing she gets married to P, in that case, she becomes member of PHUF. If P has and D has got son, daughter, then they are also members of the HUF. If this P and D's son gets married, they have son or daughter. So all of them constitute an HUF, but that would be PHUF and not DHUF, because HUF is a male dominated HUF. Now, if you consider the status of D, as far as D is concerned, D would be co-parsoner of AHF, because she is having in her father's property status equivalent to the son. If A's father is having and he is having HUF, if A's grandfather is there, he is having HUF. If A's great grandfather is there, he is having HUF. So for all these HUF, the daughter who is daughter in the family will be a co-parsoner. So she will be co-parsoner in 4 HUFs. Her father's HUF, grandfather's HUF, great grandfather's HUF, and great great grandfather's HUF. 4 generations. When she gets married to P, as far as P is concerned, similarly, P is member of PHF and 3 generations above. So for all the 4 generations, P would be co-parsoner. And in all those HUFs, daughter D would be wife of P. And since she's a wife, she will be member in all HUFs. So in all, a daughter can be a co-parsoner in 4 HUFs from her father's side and member of 4 HUFs from her husband's side. And if you consider B, C, and their children, great grandchildren, they will always be member of at least 3 to 4 HUFs. Till the time they are married, they won't have their own HUF. But the moment they get married, there would be an HUF and 4 other HUFs for which they are co-parsoners. So one person on one occasion is member or co-parsoner of a multiple HUFs, and it is not that he is member of only one HUF. That has to be understood clearly. And each HUF is separately assessed based on the income earned by the said HUF. Now, let us try to understand one misnomer, that supposing Mr. A is there, his wife is there, and there are 2 sons and children, and he is having property of say 4 crore rupees. Mr. A dies. In that case, the property will be succeeded by his legal heirs, and out of all legal heirs, B and C are 2 legal heirs. They have their families, so they inherit. If the will is not made, then there is intestate succession. Intestate succession of a Hindu is governed under Hindu succession law. So the spouse and children will get equal. So A had got Mrs. A and 2 sons and 1 daughter, 4 successors of class 1. So all these 4 successors will inherit property of A in equal proportion. So out of 4 crore rupees, everybody will get 1 crore each. Now at times people report say B and C as this is the capital of BHUF or CHUF because they have inherited it. But let us try to understand at this juncture a judgment of Supreme Court in case of CWT versus Chandar Sen, that a person inheriting property from his ancestor, even if he has a wife and a son, would receive the property absolutely individually in his own right, and his son would have no any right or interest in that property. That property will be inherited as an individual property and not HUF property. So when you inherit anything on intestate succession, succession which is governed by Hindu succession law, without making an will, is inherited in individual capacity and not in HUF capacity. Now let us move forward. we have created HUF on income tax record by having a permanent account number, but that is not the end. Our end is really to place some income in the hands of HUF so that the constituents of HUF, the members, their income gets reduced, and separately the HUF gets some income, it is taxed, so that maybe the basic threshold the HUF can enjoy. If there are, supposing they are having 4 house properties, if 2 are with Mr. A and 2 are purchased in the name of HUF, those 2 house properties would be self-occupied, no taxation. Again, in case of investment, 1,20,000 under 1,50,000 ITC, under 80 that interest deduction 80T. So all those separate boxes of deduction or whatever limits are there, they would be separately available to the HUF. So how to bring capital in the hands of HUF? So for the purpose of HUF, HUF is a separate entity, and these are old, so I'll skip them. So HUF is treated as resident when Karta is a resident. Then if HUF spends any income on the benefit of a member, that is considered as tax-free under section 10(2). So that brings us to the important question, bringing assets to the HUF, because as we discussed that HUF is an entity which exists only in the eyes of law for the purpose of income tax law. It is not having any physical existence. So when we consider income, supposing that Mr. A is working in some company, in that case he earns the income. Would that be HUF income? The answer is no, because Mr. A has exerted, so it would be his own income. Supposing he earns say 50 lakh rupees and he saves 20 lakh rupees and keeps fixed deposit of 20 lakh rupees. So that would be income of Mr. A, because 20 lakh rupees belong to Mr. A. So whatever you do by human intervention, etc., so all those incomes belong to individuals. So HUF can derive income only out of the capital available at the disposal of the HUF. Let us assume that there is a capital of 1 crore rupees which is available with the HUF, and it invests in some company deposits yielding say 8% income. In that case, if it receives, the HUF receives 8 lakh rupees, it would be separately assessed in the hands of HUF. So first 2,50,000 exam, balance 5 lakh, etc. So accordingly, it will be taxed. So we must have some assets at the disposal of HUF. When there are assets at the disposal of HUF, those assets earn the income, and that income belongs to the HUF. So how to bring assets in the coffer or in the hospitals of HUF? So first is assets received on partition of a larger HUF. So we consider Mr. A and Mrs. A having HUF, B, C are the sons, D daughter, and Mr. A has got say 5 crore rupees, 4 crore rupees, and he decides that okay, let me partition the HUF, and he distributes the shares equally. So Mr. A, B and Mr. C will get 1 crore each. A will get 1 crore and daughter will get 1 crore. Mrs. A being a wife, she will not be getting any separate share in property. Of course, for the purpose of maintenance, they can give some amount to the wives. That is possible of Karta and of others. But for the sake of simplicity, we are assuming that it is equally divided. So whatever B gets, it would be BHF's property and not B's individual property, because that is received on partition of bigger HF. Whatever C gets would be CHF property and not property of Mr. C. Whatever D gets, it would be her individual property, because she cannot constitute an HF. And whatever A gets would be his individual property again, because although A is capable of having HF, he has partitioned the HF, so he has put his HF to an end. So partition of bigger HF is one source that the smaller HFs clearly get a capital, and whatever income they earn out of it, that income will be assessed separately and the hands of HF. So 1 crore income with B, 1 crore income with C, whatever income this 1 crore will earn, it will be taxed as BHF and CHF. So this is one measure. Then secondly, assets received as a gift by the HF. Such goods can be received from close relatives other than members, close friends, etc. What I am saying, why I am saying close relatives and close friends? Because whenever any gift is given, gift presupposes underlying factor of love and affection. So a stranger cannot have love and affection for any person. So for the family also to have love and affection of someone, he must be close to that family, either related or as a friend, family friend. So if gift is given to the HUF, then that also becomes HUF's exclusive capital. And whatever income is earned out of that capital belongs to HUF. Only thing is that, supposing, say, daughter D, the sister of B, she receives 1 crore rupees and she feels that she will give 25 lakh rupees gift to BHF and 25 lakh rupees gift to CHF. So this gift can be given by her to her two brothers. But in a gift deed or a document proclaiming gift, it must be clearly stated that this gift is being given to BHUF or joint Hindu family of Mr. B. This gift is given to joint Hindu family of Mr. C. If simply it is given to B and C and she says that use it for the benefit of your family, then there may be doubt. Or if simply gives to B and C, then they cannot contend that this gift is given to their HUF. So the document, there has to be clarity. The document clearly mentions that the gift is given to BHUF and to CHUF, then whatever income arises out of that gift will be assessed in the hands of HUF. And just to bring clarity, as you are aware, that the permanent account number given to the individual is different, and permanent account number given to Hindu undivided family is different. So while you are creating a document for the purpose of witnessing this gift, it is better to state, I am giving this gift to BHF having permanent account number so and so. So permanent account number would be exclusively associated with HUF, that will not belong to individual. So that would make the intention of gift to HUF amply clear. So friends, this is one another source of bringing assets to the fold of HUF, and later on out of those assets income can be earned. Then we understood that if Mr. A expires without making any will, then in that case, whatever B, C gets, that will be their individual property. But then this is another case. If asset is bequeathed by will or by testamentary succession, in that case, it is possible that the assets can be inherited by HUF. Now take example of Mr. A, who is having property of 4 crore rupees. So he makes a will, and in that will he gives 1 crore rupees to his wife 1 crore, to his daughter 1 crore. But when it comes to his two sons B and C, in the will, he has to clearly mention that I am bequeathing these assets to Mr. B HUF and to Mr. C HUF 1 crore each. Again, as I stated earlier, maybe in order to firm up the statement, you can also include permanent account number of the HUF. So I am giving gift to Mr. B HUF having permanent account number so and so, amount rupees 1 crore. So this 1 crore rupees would come to the fold of HUF and not to the kitty of individual, and whatever income arises out of this particular bequeathing will be assessed in the hands of HUF and not in the hands of individual. Now, as far as gift is concerned, gift is one way in which you can create assets. Now, who can give gift? In case of, say, BHUF, can B give gift? Can C give gift? Can D give gift? Can friend of B give gift? Can relative or friend of Mrs. B can give gift? Let us try to analyze that. In case of HUF, any member of HUF can give gift. So let us see, B is there, B's wife is there, his son is there, son's wife is there, his grandson is there, grandson's wife is there, and great grandson is there. So any of these persons can give gift to the HUF, and that gift will also add to the capital of the HUF. But then the problem is, whatever income earned by the HUF will not be assessed in the hands of HUF, for a simple reason that section 64 provides that if the member of HUF gives gift to HUF, then income arising out of this gift will be taxed in the hands of the donor and not in the hands of HUF. So take example that Mr. B himself or Mrs. B gives gift of 1 crore rupees to BHUF. And let us assume, for the sake of simplicity, that the interest is earned at the rate of 10%. So in year one, that interest in the hands of BHUF would be 10 lakh rupees. Now the question is, in whose income this 10 lakh rupees will be included? And the answer is 10 lakh rupees interest income will not be included in the hands of BHUF, but it will be included in the hands of the donor who is member of the HUF, and that is Mrs. A. So it will be included in the hands of Mrs. A. So similarly, any member of BHUF gives gift to HUF, income arising therefrom would be assessed in his or her hands. Now, till what extent this income will be assessed? So supposing in a year later the fixed deposits get matured and they purchase shares, and from shares they have 30 lakh rupees income. Then next year the shares are sold, so they purchase say some gold, and then they sell gold and earn 20 lakh rupees. So all this chain, first there was gift of 1 crore rupees, 1 crore rupees was invested in deposit, 10 lakh rupees were earned, taxed in the hands of the donor. Then subsequently on maturity of after 1 year, shares were purchased. Out of the amount gifted, which went to fixed deposit, then went to shares. So whatever income is earned from shares will be taxed in the hands of donor, Mrs. A. Again, on sale from sale proceeds of shares, you buy gold, earn 25 lakh rupees. So that 25 lakh rupees will also be added in the hands of Mrs. C. And so on. So you keep on churning this particular amount gifted, and there will be clubbing of that income. Of course, if you invest that amount in say certain tax-free bonds and you earn tax-free income, then it will be clubbed in the hands of Mrs. A, but it will continue to be tax-free in her hands. Supposing you purchase agricultural land or some land out of this 1 crore rupees, then land doesn't earn any income annually. So maybe till the time you sell that land, there will not be any income which can be clubbed because income has not arisen. If you purchase an agricultural land which is beyond 8 kilometers, etc., a pure agricultural land, carrying out agricultural operations, and then subsequently you sell it, then there will be clubbing of the income. But because agricultural income is not liable to tax, there will be no tax in the hands of Mrs. A because the income will not increase. So this is as far as clubbing is concerned. So it is always better that you take gift from a third party who is not member of the HUF. But when you take income from third party who is not a member of HUF, is it a sound proposition? See, primarily, yes, it is a sound proposition. Whatever income you earn out of gifts received from third parties, maybe even Mr. A, who is father of A, is a third party. Mrs. A, who is mother of A, is a third party. Daughter D is a third party. Brother C is a third party, and his friends and others are also third party. So if these third parties give gift to the HUF, income will certainly be assessed in the hands of HUF and not in the hands of donor. But there is one pitfall to it, that if one reads section 56 to 10, in that case, whatever gift is received by a person otherwise than from relative, and in case of HUF, otherwise than from members of the HUF, is considered as income. So assuming that B's father A gives gift of 1 crore rupees to B HUF, in that case, after whatever amount is received is invested, that interest or income will be clubbed in the hands of BHUF, but this gift will be considered as income of the HUF, and 1 crore rupee gifted will be exposed to tax as income because gift is considered as income under section 56 to 10. So any third party giving gift, at the threshold, it will suffer tax, and thereafter it will start earning income. Of course, if you give 50,000 rupees as a gift, maybe up to 50,000 rupees, the gifts are exempt. So this is as far as clubbing is concerned, and taking gifts from third parties is concerned. Then HUF also can borrow, and from the borrowed funds, it can earn, but earning should be more than whatever interest the HUF is shelling out. Now let us consider that we have some capital on any of these four means available with the HUF. The first mean being partition of a bigger HUF. On partition of a bigger HUF, HUF gets capital, and that is its exclusive capital. Or secondly, when gift is received from a third party, it is exclusive capital of the HUF. Or if inheritance is there, testamentary inheritance, in will, the person dying says that I'm giving this bequest to a particular HUF. Or if you receive gift from anyone else, in that case, all these 3, 4 things, income would be of HUF. And HUF's income only comes out of investment and not out of exertion. So let us consider what all means in which one can deploy that capital and earn income. So firstly, HUF can be proprietor of a concern. HUF can appoint staff, and that staff runs the business, and then income is earned. So in that case, HUF can have a proprietary income. Then can HUF be partner in the firm? The answer is yes, HUF can be partner in a firm. But then, as you are aware, that HUF partnership is a contract, and only the persons can enter into contract. HUF has a status of person under Section 231 of the Income Tax, but under General Clauses Act, HUF is not a person. So for general law, HUF not being a person, it cannot enter into contract of partnership. So contract is always entered into by some or the other member of the HUF. So he or she becomes partner, earns the income, and HUF has got overriding title over that income if the capital supplied is by the HUF. And this has been amplified in Rasik Lal and Company versus CIT reported in 229 ITR 458. And based on this Rasik Lal and Company only, I stated that if there is, say, CV Chitra HUF, who is a chartered accountant in practice, in that case, whether he can be, his HUF can be partner in a partnership, maybe would it be breach of code of ethics? So let us try to understand that supposing a wife of a Karta who is not a chartered accountant, if she takes capital from the HUF, invests it in the partnership firm and earns any income, so that income will have overriding title of the HUF and it will be assessed in the hands of HUF and not in the hands of wife of a Karta or daughter of a Karta or a husband, son of a Karta, who are representing the HUF and who are not chartered accountants. As far as CV Chitra, chartered accountant is concerned, it is his HUF, but he has not entered into partnership. He has not done any business because he is neither a partner nor he is actively involved in the business of a partnership. So even chartered accountant can earn income, which is as an HUF through some other member representing the HUF in a partnership. Whether HUF can be a member of LLP, the answer is no, because under the LLP Act itself, there is prohibition for HUF to become a partner. In any case, that provision is superfluous because basically HUF not being a member, it cannot enter into contract of partnership. So this, even if you don't have this particular embargo, still HUF itself cannot enter into the contract. Then can HUF be a shareholder? Again, we have certain decisions which say that yes, HUF can be a shareholder in a company. Under Section 40B4, any interest paid to the partner, HUF's representative is a partner, capital is supplied by the partner, that income will be assessed as interest income in the hands of HUF. In case of HUF, it can have demat account, it can enter into purchase shares, and that has been clarified by CBA Company Law Board in case of Vickers 16 International Limited versus Mahesh P. Keshwani. Now, friends, coming to partition, as far as partition of the HUF is concerned, there has to be total partition that only is recognized in law. If there is partial partition, it is not recognized in law. In order to get the total partition recognized under Section 171(9) of the Income Tax Act, you have to make application to the assessing officer. If all assets are partitioned, if all members are have severed in the family, then it is total partition. And when there is total partition, whatever amount one gets, he or she, the income out of those amounts will be taxed in his or her hands. But then if there is a partial partition, then it will not be recognized under income tax law. So what do I mean by not recognized? Let me try to amplify. Supposing Mr. A HUF has got Mr. A, Mrs. A, B, C, D as members and co-person of the HUF. They have got 10 crore rupees as a capital. So they are earning, say, interest at the rate of 5% on these 10 crores. So they earn interest at 5%. But then B says that you are earning interest at a lower rate. You give me 1 crore rupees. C also says you give me 1 crore rupees. We will be able to earn at a much higher rate. So the properties of HUF are partitioned. Mr. A gets 1 crore, Mr. B gets 1 crore, C gets 1 crore, and balance 8 crores continue as a property of the HUF. So on 8 crore, it will, let us assume at 10%, it or at 5%, it continues to earn 40 lakh rupees. Now B invests it in some shares, C invests it elsewhere, and on 1 crore rupees, B earns say 20 lakh rupees and C earns 25 lakh rupees. So because he has received this amount from HUF, it will be income of B, it will be income of C as far as general law is concerned. But income tax law says that there is partial partition of the HUF because all the assets are not segregated. Out of 10 crore rupees, you have segregated only 2 crore rupees. So that income earned by B 20 lakh rupees, by C 25 lakh rupees, they will not be liable to pay any tax. And along with the interest income of 40 lakhs to that HUF, this 20 and 25 lakh rupees will be added, and 40 plus 20 plus 25. So on 85 lakh rupees, the BHF will pay tax. So this is what I mean that partial partition is not recognized. But there are 10 crore rupees. The assets are partitioned. A gets 2 crore rupees, B gets 2 crore, C gets 2 crore, D gets 2 crore. So 8 crore rupees are given. 2 crore are additionally given to say A. And then thereafter, all the assets are partitioned. All members have severed their connections. So the partition can be recognized because it is total partition. And on recognition, the income arising from the amount received on partition will be separately assessed in the hands of each person who receives the amount. And there are some case law which are supporting the propositions which I made. Then typical issue, whether a person, the expression Hindu ordinary family income tax law is same as joint Hindu family, and widow of deceased male member also can be a karta. Single person, whether he can constitute an HUF, the answer is yes and the answer is no. Let me explain. Now, in this case, let us see that Mr. A is having HUF. He is having 2 sons, B, C, and D. And he is having separate property. A is having separate property of, say, 5 crore rupees. At the time of death, B and C are minor, D is also minor. So he, out of his own property, says, I bequeath 1 crore rupees to BHUF and 1 crore rupees to CHUF. So they come to the fold of BHUF and CHUF. But then at the time when the gift is received, they were minors and they were not married. So HUF presupposes existence of a family. So here there is no family, they are individuals. So in that case, whatever income they earn on 1 crore rupees, although the income is of HUF, it will be assessed in their individual returns. Let us assume after 10 years, B gets married and he is receiving say 10 lakh rupees income on this particular amount. So the moment he gets married, the HUF comes into existence because now there is plurality of persons in HUF. And for constituting HUF, minimum there should be 2 members. So because now there is plurality of members, from the date of marriage onwards, whatever income is earned on those 1 crore rupees received from the will of Mr. A's father to BHUF will be separately assessed in the hands of BHUF. Till that time, it will be assessed in the hands of Karta, that is B. So this is as far as the single person HUF is concerned. Till the time he gets married, till the time there is family, it is his property. The moment he gets married, it becomes HUF property. Income also associated with it. That HUF property is HUF income. Then unequal partition. See, in case of unequal partition, see, in this example, HUF has got 8 crore rupees capital and they have members A, B and C sons and D daughter. A wants to dissolve the HUF and partition it totally. At this juncture, everybody will generally get 2 crore rupees. But B, the elder son, and D, the daughter, are very rich people. But C is not very rich. He is having limited means. So what B and D tell their father that, okay, we are going to get 2 crore rupees. Instead of that, you give us total 1 rupee, and 2 crore rupees coming to our fold, you give it to C because he is in need of it and he is our brother. So the partition happens. A gets 1 crore rupees, B gets 1 rupee, A gets 2 crore rupees, B gets 1 rupees, D gets 1 rupee, and there 1 crore 99 lakh 99,000 say rupees are given to D. So he gets in all, in a simple way, 6 crore rupees. So the issue is, can we say that B and D have given gift of 2 crore rupees to C? And the answer is no. Because what Supreme Court has stated, that share of a person who is member or co-person of a HUF for the first time gets determined at the time of partition. Till then, there is no fixed share available to a person. And this can be appreciated. Supposing there is a family is having 10 crore rupees, and they have one person who is having heart disease, and the doctor diagnoses heart disease and say that no, this person requires treatment and he has to be operated at USA, and for that there will be cost of 5 crore rupees. Then if the capital is 8 crore rupees, as a family member, as a father, Karta will not think that, okay, only 2 crore rupees is his entitlement, so how do I give more 3 crore rupees? He will say, what is the manner in which they can protect honor of the family, life of a family member. So to spend 5 crore rupees on that operation at USA. So unhesitantly, he will spend 5 crore rupees. So there, nobody can question that why 5 crore rupees when his share was only 2 crore rupees. So the answer is, till the time HUF exists, there is no fixed share. The share gets determined for the first time on partition. And when, as a member of family, the law does not operate, the family interest, the family honor, and the family well-being are the principles that govern the exposure of or outflow of the HUF's fund, whether out of capital or out of income. So, friends, these were some of the important things which I wanted to discuss at this juncture. I'm sure that there are various things which one need. There may be some questions also. So I thank the organizers for patient hearing. And if there are any questions, maybe we can take some questions if the time permits. And as far as this PPT is concerned, I will share this PPT with the committee so that can be shared with the members, which has a reference to more case law and more aspects. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. There are a few questions is there.
Yes,
One by one, I'm taking the same.
please.
Sir, the first question is there. HUF consists of husband, wife, and daughter. Matrimonial disputes are under process at a various court. What safeguard are to be taken towards the assets that HUF till court case are disposed? How can we dissolve the HUF at this stage?
See, these are exceptional circumstances and a dispute, or maybe there is a dispute. So till the time dispute is resolved, maybe if the property is with the HUF, the income earned will be assessed in the hands of HUF, because the HUF does not get disrupted merely because there is a dispute. When the dispute is resolved and they say that you partition the HUF, that would be the point of time at which the HUF will be disrupted. So even during the process of dispute, if the HUF's capital is earning income, that will be assessed in the hands of HUF. But if supposing HUF is having some shop or having a agricultural property, and because of dispute they say that no, you cannot run shop, nobody can run shop, or you cannot carry out any agricultural activity, and those cases there will be no income to the HUF. If there is no income, there is no question of dealing with it. It will simply not be reported because there is no income. So the answer is, even if there is dispute, the HUF subsists, it continues its existence. So whatever income is earned by the HUF will be assessed in the hands of HUF. If because of dispute, supposing they say that, okay, you don't continue the business, then in that case, there will be no income. So no question of reporting any income.
Sir, in that question further, how can we dissolve the HUF at this stage? The dispute is there at the time. How can they?
In case of partnership or company, there is a process how you can dissolve the partnership. All partners must agree. You must go to liquidator in case of company. But in case of HUF, HUF is an entity which is managed by the Karta of the HUF. And Karta has got unfettered right to take decision on behalf of HUF. So if the disputes are going on and Karta believes that HUF should be dissolved, he can dissolve the HUF completely, distribute the asset, and the matter comes to an end. The members who are not happy with the behavior of Karta or anybody, they can tell Karta that please dissolve the HUF, and then they can start the process of dissolution.
Another question is, sir, when husband and wife, both the Hindus, live separately due to personal differences but not divorced, wife inherited the property from her deceased father. This couple have a male and female child, both living with mother. The wife by affidavit made an HUF with her daughter. Somewhere is the problem when husband and wife, both Hindus, live separately due to personal differences but
Okay.
not divorced. Wife
Okay.
inherits property from her deceased father.
Okay.
This couple have a male and female child, both living with mother. The
Okay.
wife by an affidavit made an HUF with her daughter. सर ये क्वेश्चन
I
पूछ रहे हैं
understand.
कि वाइफ अपने
No,
चिल्ड्रन
I
के साथ
understand.
HUF क्रिएट कर सकती?
No, let us try to understand. The HUF is a product of Hindu custom. The Hindu custom says that HUF is a male dominated entity. So whatever Hindu custom says is valid unless it is altered by any law or Supreme Court decision. So Hindu custom said that okay, daughters cannot be members of co-person of HUF, but Hindu Succession Act has changed this position. In case of whether female member can be Karta of the HUF, the court said that yes, female member can be Karta. But as far as formation of HUF is concerned, it continues with male domination. So in this case, say there is husband P and wife Q. Both of them are married. Both of them have got say one son and one daughter. Only thing is that because of dispute, P is staying separately, Q and their two children are staying separately. But there is no divorce, so the relationship of husband and wife continues, the family continues. Now, some property is inherited by daughter Q, and the issue is whether she can constitute HUF. The answer is no. There cannot be QHF, there will be PHF. Now, the second issue is if supposing the property inherited from her father, he puts in the common HUF of PHF. Yes, she can do so. But even if she puts that property in common spots, that income will belong to PHF legally, but tax will be in the hands of Q because Q is the donor, and under section 64, the amount will be clubbed. Only one interesting fact about clubbing remain to be mentioned. Let me cover it up. Now, what section 64 states that whatever amount is gifted by the member of the HUF, the income from therefrom shall be clubbed in the hands of the donor. So let us assume that 10% is the interest rate, 1 crore rupees is the gift that husband or wife give to their own HUF. Then on 1 crore in year 1, they will earn 10 lakh rupees as interest. So that 10 lakh rupees will be assessed in the hands of, supposing husband has given the donation or gift, then Mr. A, the husband, in his income 10 lakh rupees will be earned, but that 10 lakh rupees will belong to HUF. Now year 2, in year 2, 1 crore rupees on 1 crore 10 lakh rupees, they will earn interest of 11 lakh rupees. Section 64 states that amount of income earned out of amount gifted will be clubbed. Now, out of this 11 lakh rupees, amount gifted is 1 crore rupees. So, on 1 crore rupees, the HUF earned 10 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees over and above 10 lakh rupees are earned out of income on amount gifted. So, the wordings are not income on amount gifted will be clubbed. So again, in year 2, only 10 lakh rupee would be clubbed in the hands of Mr. A. The 1 lakh rupees, which is income on income, that will not be clubbed. In third year, supposing they get 11 lakh, 11,000 something. So that 10 lakh will be clubbed, 1 lakh 11,000 will not be clubbed, and so on. So income on income is not clubbed, only uh, income on the amount gifted is clubbed. And if we take example of shares, supposing 1 crore rupees are gifted, they invest in shares and earn 50 lakh rupees. So those 50 lakh rupees would be clubbed. But 1 crore 50 lakh rupees are invested and another 75 lakh rupees are earned. In that case, the division of 75 lakh rupees is 50 lakh rupees is out of amount gifted 1 crore and 25 lakh rupees is out of income from amount gifted. So those 25 lakh rupees will not be clubbed, only 50 lakh rupees would be clubbed. So likewise, we have to apply the clubbing provisions.
There are two questions. In that, can a widow form a HUF with two minor daughters? And the same way, another questions. The husband dies years ago. No HUF made till the date. Now woman want to create a HUF with two sons. Is it allowed?
See, again, the answer is a woman cannot create an HUF. But there was an HUF because let us assume that widow was married to Mr. A and Mrs. A, and they have two children. So there is a Mr. A HUF in existence. Now, merely because there is death of Mr. A, Mr. A HUF does not die. Mr. A HUF continues. So supposing there is some capital available with Mr. A HUF and that is invested, that will continue to be taxed in the hands of Mr. AHF, for which Karta will be Mrs. A, assuming that both the son and daughter are minor. But if son becomes major, then he will be the Karta. If he says that I am not interested in becoming Karta, then a different thing. Now the issue is after demise of Mr. A, can Mrs. A get capital, that is gift for Mr. AHF? Answer again is in affirmative because AHF continues, only A has expired. So anybody can give gift to AHF. Supposing AHF gets gift of 1 crore rupees. Then the moment they get gift of 1 crore rupees under section 56 to 10, it will be exposed to tax, assuming that they pay say average 20 lakh rupees as a tax. So 80 lakh rupees remain with Mrs. A, who is Karta of AHF. That 80 lakh when she invests, that will be taxed in the hands of AHF. But there will not be any Mrs. AHF, there will always be Mr. AHF.
Sir, here is the question is that after demise of the husband, a widow wife can form a HUF or cannot?
See, there is no question of widow forming HUF. HUF is already into existence. When she
Okay.
get married, there was Mr.
Okay.
AHF which got created. Now they have two children, say son and a daughter. And family of four, which was an HUF, get reduced to family of three. But that continues to be AHF. So HUF was already there. Now let us
Okay.
assume that the husband dies in the year 2022. When he dies, there was 0 rupees available with AHF. But in say year 2024, brother of Mrs. A says that I will give you, sister, I will give gift to your HF. But what is meaning of your HF? It will be Mr. AHF, of which Mrs. A has become a Karta. So if brother gives say 1 crore rupees to Mr. AHF, that would be Mr. AHF, which is already in existence. Now you can apply for PAN, get it on income tax record, but it will not be Mrs. HF, it will continue to be Mr. HF. And after demise of Mr. A also, since the HF exists, they can act, they can earn income, they can receive gifts, they can do anything. And in my PPT, the case laws are there that HF can give gift, HF can receive gift. So those case laws can be referred.
Okay, sir. So last question is there. Can a Karta or partner gift money to HUF as a capital contribution for starting a business, or it will be treated as a loan?
It depends upon how you treat it. It is decision of the HUF. Now, supposing for starting business by some family member, HUF gives loan from his capital. Then in that case, it will be entitled to interest. But if the business requires capital of 1 crore rupees, and then the Karta decides that, okay, HUF will give capital of 1 crore rupees and it will be HUF's business, then the profit will belong to HUF. And in that case, supposing one son is working for that HUF business, he can be given remuneration, and he has to be given remuneration because it is not his income, it is income of the HUF. So for HUF, some third party is working, so that third party needs to be remunerated.
Okay, sir.
Anything else? Or what?
Yes. Many of the questions are covered. So
I think
in the
Purushottam
constraint
Bhai has
of
raised hand.
timing,
पुरुषोत्तम भाई आपको कुछ बोलना है कि बाय बाय कर रहे हैं? ठीक है, प्रोसीड.
thank you, sir. Such an
Thank
insightful
you.
session. Sir, you did cover almost all the aspects of the HUF. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir, for sharing a valuable time and knowledge to us. On behalf of the CP committee and all present here, propose the heartily vote of thanks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Officially, we conclude the session here. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. In fact, when I was chairman of Direct Tax Committee, I was invited by Rajkot for a national conference, but because of traveling schedule not available, I could not come. So maybe I have made good the last opportunity today with your presence. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I'll exit.
Yes. Please.
Thank you.